Good morning. My name is Barbara Jean Wilson. I'm an author, motivational speaker. I want to first start out by saying, when I came in, the moderator asked if I could introduce you as Barbara, and I said yes, and I'll explain why I now use my full name, Barbara Jean Wilson. From the age of 8 to the age of 13, I was human trafficked. A lot of people think it's strangers, someone you meet, could even be in a club or what have you. In my case, it was my mother who trafficked me out. But instead of taking me outside, the men were brought inside. And from the age of 8 to 13, I was fed drugs, I was fed alcohol, I was beaten. One time I said no, and a gun was put to my head. And I asked my mother, why are you doing this? And she says, because the rent has to get paid somehow. And so I was the one who was making the money for her to pay the rent. During the process of it, I had lost all trust. Didn't believe in anything, didn't believe in anyone. I became withdrawn, I became angry. I started talking back to people. When I went to school, the first time it happened, I went to school the next day. I just started acting up in the hopes that the teacher would have asked me, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? Because you wasn't acting like this yesterday. But instead, they labeled me as being disruptive and being a bad child. Once they were done doing what they wanted to do to me, my mother actually threw me out. And the only way that I knew how to survive was to continue doing what was done to me. And then I got deeper into drugs, I got deeper into alcohol. I became pregnant. I had my daughter at 16. And her name is Germanna Wilson, and I'm on this stage speaking because of her. Because she gave me the will, she gave me the power to be able to go out and share my life. And she says, Mommy, you need to write a book about what you've gone through so that you can help others to understand that it's not just strangers, but you can also help victims to know that they can get help and live a productive life. One of the things that I want everyone in this room to understand and know, when you see a prostitute, a junkie, an alcoholic on the street, a lot of them are not out there because they want to be. A lot of them are out there because they're forced. And if you're in the law enforcement, the way you can help them is, instead of arresting them, ask them, are you out here because you want to be, or are you forced? 9 times out of 10, they're not going to answer you because whoever has them out there is probably sitting 2 or 3 cars away. So what you need to do is look in their eyes and tell them, I'm going to put handcuffs on you, but not to lock you up. But I'm going to take you in. This way you'll have the freedom to speak. And if there are other police officers within the vicinity, just keep an eye out for when he puts the victim in the car. Because once he puts her in the car, 9 times out of 10, you'll see a car pull off. That's the person who has her out there, or has him out there, because it's not just girls, it's also boys. And just try to be sympathetic to what they're going through, what they're being put through, because it strips us of everything. One of the things she mentioned was about trust. For me, it was a long time before I could trust anybody, because my mother was the one who broke that trust. And in order to gain the trust of a victim, you have to mean what you say. If you come to me and say, listen, I can help you, call me anytime, and you give me your card, I may call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can't answer your phone and say I can't come to you, because I could have probably just ran away from my trafficker, and that would be the last time that you hear from me, for two reasons. Because you didn't keep your word, and they could have found me and killed me. So you gotta keep your words when speaking with victims, because that's the only thing that they have. They need to believe in someone. They need to know that you're going to be there for them. No matter what they say to you, don't take it personal, because it has nothing to do with you. They just need someone that they can lash out to. They need someone that no matter what comes out of their mouth, they're still there. I have a dear friend who told me that God had told her that I was her assignment. And when I tell you that I put her through so much, the name calling, I never put my hands on her, but I never respected her. But no matter what, she kept coming back. She kept coming back. After 3 weeks, I said to myself, no matter what I say, she keeps coming back. And that's when I started opening up a little more. Still wouldn't share everything, but I just started opening up and believing that she was going to be there for me. And she spoke into my life, and she said, you're a beautiful person, regardless of what happened to you. You're a beautiful person, and you can make something of your life. She says, I see greatness in you. And with that, she helped me to build my life and to become the person that I am today. It was a long journey. It was a long walk. Because even now, I'm still, the trust isn't 100% when I let people in. Have to gradually let folks in, and you have to also, when you're in a group setting, you got to be aware of what you're saying in conversations, because someone could actually be a traffic victim, and there's things that you're saying that might trigger. You have to be careful when you embrace. We love to hug. We love to, at least in my church, there's always, hug your neighbor, tell your neighbor that you love them. You have to be careful with that as well, because that can also trigger some sort of abuse. Because I know for me, I know the difference between someone who's embracing me warmly and someone who's embracing me sexually. And so you got to be careful of that, and also of your friends, because again, it's not just strangers. You could have a friend that's jealous of you, and they can get you involved in human trafficking without you even knowing it. They can invite you to a party, and you go to that party, and that person who invited you, they've been paid, whether it's $200, $300, they've done their part. Their job is to bring other young girls or young boys, and they're sitting there waiting to set them up. I spending the rest of my life, if I can, to go around and just share my story and how I came out of it, to bring an understanding and awareness to those who don't know, but also for the victims to know that they too can become survivors. And just know that when you see them out there, just pray for them. It was a while before I got off of drugs and alcohol and prostituting. I was actually an adult, probably 22 years old, when I got off the drugs, stopped prostituting, and drinking, and it was with the help of people at my church, as well as those that I let in. So it's an ongoing an ongoing battle to try to get people to understand, even when it comes to media, stop posting pictures of yourself and of your kids on social media. That's where the predators hide. They don't have to hack into your system. You're giving them the information. Because all they have to do is click on your name. And when they click on your name, all the information is there. Make your kids aware of their surroundings. You noticed a car that's been parked there that you've never seen before. Call the police, take down the license number, do whatever it takes, because children are turning up missing a lot now, and quite a few of them are probably being trafficked. So just be careful what you put on social media about yourself, about your family, about your trips. And don't put your kids on there with bathing suits on. You're not helping. You're not protecting them by doing that. So be careful of sharing things about your family, about your kids, because they will use that to follow your child. And because they have all this information, and all they have to do is just throw out one or two words, your child know that that's a family member. So they're going to go off with them. So you just got to be careful in the things that you say, the things that you do, the things that you post. Thank you.